Ever wish there was like a cheat sheet for happiness? Well, get ready because today's deep dive is all about that. We're diving into this awesome conversation from the Moonshots podcast where they chat with Neil Pasricha, the happiness equation guy.
And what's really cool is how much they love his work. They call it, like, a practical guide to happiness, which I'm here for, especially this whole equation thing, right? The idea that maybe instead of chasing success for happiness, it's the other way around.
Whoa, total mind flip. It's like, what if the good old days are actually right now? But okay, before we get too deep, what even got Pasricha thinking about this whole happiness equation thing?
So it actually started as this really sweet thing for his son, like a love letter, but with, like, actual tools for a happier life.
I love that. Okay, so let's break down this equation because honestly, it's kind of cryptic at first glance. Want nothing plus do anything, have everything. I'm definitely curious, but could use some explaining.
Yeah, no, it's definitely meant to make you think. So when he says want nothing, it's not about, like, having zero possessions or anything. It's more about being content right now instead of always chasing some future happiness.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. Appreciating where you're at instead of wishing you were somewhere else.
Exactly. And this leads to the practical stuff because he's all about these simple 20-minute happiness boosters.
Okay, I am so ready. Hit me with these boosters.
So one is probably something you already do, going for a walk in nature.
Love a good nature walk. But wait, like as impactful as antidepressants? Seriously.
The science is there. It can totally boost your mood. And get this, combining it with something like journaling makes the effects even stronger.
Journaling, yeah, I've tried that. How does he connect that to happiness, though?
He calls it the 20-minute replay. Basically, when you write about good experiences, it's like your brain relives them, making those memories even stronger.
So you're like rewiring your brain without even realizing it.
Hmm.
Clever. Didn't they mention some study about this on the podcast? Something about couples?
Oh, yeah. Couples who journal together were something like 50% more likely to stay together.
50%. Okay, wow, gotta add couples journal to my shopping list. What's the third booster?
This one might surprise you. Reading fiction.
Really? I mean, I get how a good book helps you escape, but how's that directly boosting happiness?
Well, when you're in a story, you're seeing the world through different eyes, right? It's like building your empathy muscles, and that deeper understanding can be super enriching. Plus, giving your mind a break from reality is never a bad thing.
Yeah, true. It's not just escaping, it's like growing as a person.
Exactly. It's tapping into that human need for stories. It's how we make sense of the world.
Okay, so we've got the want nothing part and those awesome 20-minute boosters. Now, what about the do anything side of the equation? How do we unlock that?
He talks about it as freedom. Freedom from all the distractions we have now. And a big part of that is time blocking, which you might already be familiar with.
Totally. Taking control of your time instead of letting notifications and emails run the show.
Exactly. Just like in deep work, he's all about minimizing distractions for better focus and productivity. Turning off those phone notifications, blocking out time on your calendar for important tasks, and actually protecting that time like it's valuable. Have you tried time blocking yourself? Gotta go.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And honestly, the difference is huge. Without it, my day feels like a million scattered pieces and I get nothing done. But when I use it, I'm like way more in control, productive, and less stressed.
Totally. It's about taking back control of your day, which does wonders for your well-being. Now, he also talks about those times when we're stuck, unmotivated, which we all experience, right?
Ugh, yes. Some days do anything feels impossible, even when you know you'll feel better after. So the secret is there a magic potion or something?
Yeah, no magic potion. But he has this idea called the do circle. Sounds simple, but it works. Instead of waiting to feel motivated, just start doing even something tiny.
Like ripping off a Band-Aid, just gotta go for it.
Right. And he backs this up with research. There's this psychologist who uses a 5-minute takeoff technique to beat procrastination.
Oh, I've heard of that. Commit to 5 minutes, and usually that's enough to get you going.
Exactly. It tricks your brain into action mode, and that initial push is often all you need.
Makes sense. Once you get the ball rolling, it's easier to keep it moving. But what about when those negative thoughts pop up and stop us from even trying? Those you're not good enough or what's the point thoughts.
That's where his idea of overvaluing yourself comes in. And it's not about being arrogant. It's about recognizing that your time and energy are super valuable. He actually says our time is our most precious resource, even more than money.
Oh, totally. Because you can have all the money in the world, but you can't buy more time. We all get the same 24 hours.
Exactly. And because of that, he wants us to be really intentional with how we use it.
It's like aligning your actions with what you actually care about, right?
Yeah.
Making sure you're not just going through the motions, but spending your time on things that feel worthwhile.
Exactly. It's about designing a life where your everyday stuff actually reflects what matters to you. He even makes this interesting comparison, like comparing how much someone with a fancy Harvard MBA makes versus, say, a teacher or someone working retail.
Okay, interesting. Tell me more about that.
So if you break it down to like an hourly rate and factor in all the crazy hours those high-powered jobs often need, the difference isn't as huge as you'd think. But the big difference, he says, is how you spend your time and how fulfilling it is.
It really makes you rethink that whole climb the ladder idea of success, right? It's
Mm.
not just about money, but also the impact of your work and if it actually means something to you.
Exactly. And that connects right back to the whole happiness equation. Choosing happiness now, finding contentment today, and building a life with your time that's full of meaning and purpose.
A life you don't need to escape from.
Yes. And that really hit home for the Moonshots hosts too. They even started thinking about their own lives and those happiness habits.
Oh, really? What resonated with them the most?
They were super into the simplicity of those 20-minute boosters we talked about. Walking, journaling, reading.
Did they have any personal stories about actually using those things in their own lives?
Yeah. Mark, one of the hosts, was saying how his daily walks are non-negotiable now. Helps him clear his head, get inspired. He's also big on journaling to, like, process his emotions and work through stuff.
Both of those fit so well with that do anything mindset, even if it's just for a few minutes. It's about showing up for yourself consistently, right?
Totally. Small changes over time.
Yeah.
And Mike, the other host, was saying he uses fiction to unwind after work. Helps him quiet his mind, especially all those work thoughts that stick around.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like finally giving your brain permission to chill.
And he thought it was so cool learning about the brain benefits of reading novels.
Wait, really? Like what?
Well, remember those mirror neurons we talked about?
Yeah.
Turns out reading fiction actually activates them, so you're putting yourself in the character's shoes, experiencing the world through their eyes. And that, like we said, is huge for empathy.
Wow, that's amazing. I never knew reading could be such a brain workout. Sounds like the Moonshots guys are doing pretty well with this happiness equation thing.
They are. And they were saying it's a journey, not a finish line, right? It's about those daily choices that match your values and make happiness a priority.
Yeah, not waiting for happiness to just appear, but actually creating it through what you do every day.
Yes. And one thing they really emphasized was this idea of starting with happiness, making that choice instead of waiting for it to be a result of, like, external achievements.
Flipping the script, so instead of get things done to be happy, it's be happy to get things done.
Exactly. And that goes right back to overvaluing yourself and your time. If you put happiness first, you'll naturally make choices that support that, like finding a career you love, building strong relationships, or even just making time for the things you enjoy.
It's all about matching your inner world, your values, your happiness with the things you actually do in your life.
Yes. And that creates this ripple effect, impacting not just you, but also the people around you.
Like they say, happiness is contagious. So it's not selfish to focus on your own happiness. It's actually a gift to yourself and everyone else.
Absolutely. And the Moonshots hosts left their listeners with this really beautiful question that sums it all up. They asked, what's one small thing you're grateful for right now, and how can you really savor that feeling?
Such a powerful question. So simple. It's like this invitation to just pause, appreciate the moment, and tap into gratitude.
And as we know, gratitude is a huge part of happiness, appreciating what we already have instead of focusing on what's missing.
Yeah, it's easy to fall into that trap of, I'll be happy when, always looking to the next big thing instead of what's right in front of you.
Totally. It's about shifting that focus from what we don't have to what we do have, no matter how small.
It's not about pretending everything's perfect, right? It's about finding the good, even when things are tough.
It's about realizing happiness isn't something that just happens. It's something you create
Hmm?
through what you think, what you do, all of it. And it's a journey, not a destination. There'll be ups and downs for sure.
Yeah.
But with these principles, wanting nothing in the sense of finding contentment now, doing anything to take action, appreciating what you've already got, that's how you build a life full of meaning and, yeah, happiness.
So not some like fantasy land where you're always happy, but being able to handle all of life, the good and bad, with grace, you know?
Exactly. Embracing it all, knowing even the tough times teach you something. And sometimes, those tough times, that's how you find out how strong you really are.
That's so true. Life's never going to be perfect, but we can choose how we react. And sometimes those challenges, they actually put you right where you're supposed to be.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on Neil Pasricha and the happiness equation, one last thought. Remember that question about gratitude. Take a sec. Think about something you're grateful for, even something small you might take for granted. Really feel that gratitude. Let it bring a little more joy into your day.
It's such a great thing to practice, that pause to appreciate the good. And sometimes those little moments of gratitude, those are the ones that matter most. So cheers to embracing the happiness equation, not as some strict rule book, but as a way to live more intentionally, more joyfully.
Beautifully put. And remember, happiness isn't a destination. It's a journey, and we're all on it. Take those small steps, enjoy the good moments, and even when things get messy, know that you have the power to find the joy in it all.
Here's to finding that joy. We'll leave you to think about all this and keep creating your own recipe for happiness. Until next time.